Welcome back to the A&S Way. It's Saturday and we are going to do our weekly update from the Vegas Strip today. Last week we went to Fremont Street, so that's downtown Las Vegas, and it looks like a lot of you really enjoyed watching that vlog. So we thought, why not go to the new version of the new...
It's probably the only version that you'll come to if you book a holiday to Las Vegas. We haven't been here since my brother's 21st birthday, so it's coming up to 4 years in a couple of months. So we haven't been there, and even though we live here and it's literally, what would you say, 20 minutes
20
drive?
minutes, yeah.
We've not been there yet, so it's going to be new to us again, so you can join us on the trip.
No idea. So we've made it to the Venetian casino on the Strip. There was no real logic behind where we picked. Just to explain. Hiya. So that's what you get on the Strip. Lots of people trying to grab your attention. Usually Anton's attention.
Yeah, usually me. So yeah, parked in the Venetian, I think level 7, and then we've just come down the elevators and we're going to head straight outside?
Yeah, I think so, just to get our bearings a bit. And to explain about the parking, we've been to Vegas a good few times, probably 5 times-ish.
Yeah, I've been a bit less.
And definitely when we started coming to Vegas, the casinos, it was always free self-parking, and you would only... And even valet was free. You just had to tip for valet.
A couple of dollars.
Back then. But then the last time we came, the resorts...
Or the last 2 times potentially.
Yeah, they started charging
for
self-park, yeah.
So any type of parking was $25 a day, whether it was self-parking. Oh no, you couldn't self-park. They would park it for you, wouldn't they?
Yeah, or it would be a combination. So then getting free parking on the Strip was quite hard, or you'd have to find the casinos. With the pandemic, a lot of the hotels now are allowing you to at least self-park for free, and I think they only charge for the valet now, I think. Anyway.
It was a complete rip-off, so especially for us, we'd come over for 7 days. You have to factor in not only the $25 they're charging you for parking, but also the resort fees.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when you book these holidays, it looks like a great price. It might cost you £1,000 or $1,000. And then they add on about $40 in resort fees and taxes.
Yeah.
So it becomes really, really expensive. You end up with a bill of $600-700 that you weren't expecting to pay.
And then you really need to weigh up whether you need the car, especially if you're just going to spend your trip on the Strip. You don't really need a car because you can walk to most places. You can then just Uber when you need to.
Although I wouldn't recommend, I would recommend at least having the car for a couple of days so you can do things like Red Rock. I think you're missing out. If you come to Vegas and don't do some of the outdoor activities...
Oh yeah, you're definitely missing out.
One of the things that's really shocking when you first come to Vegas, for me, 1, the scale, but 2, you go into one hotel, you feel like you're underground, and you come out a quarter of a mile further down in another hotel. They're all linked, well not all of them, but a lot of them are linked together. And
it's very easy to lose your bearings and have no awareness of where you are, and you do feel like you're in a different world depending on where you're at as well. We thought we would do something a bit different today and share with you kind of why we like coming to the US and a bit about our history of coming here in the past. Ant's been coming since long time.
Secondary school, so around 12 or 13, my parents decided one year that they were going to bring us to Florida. And the moment we touched down and I felt the sun and the heat, I knew I did not belong in England at all. And it was so, wasn't it? I come back to school and that was it. I'm like, I don't belong here.
There's a better place out there.
Yeah, I mean, everything about the UK didn't fit from that very moment. So from 13 I've been coming, and I think you started coming around...
A bit much later. I think I was
21?
20, I think was the first time I came to the US, and for both of us it was Florida. Was the first place we went to, and it kind of like fell in love with the way it is in the US. And I know that different states are very different, but there was just something very special that we appreciated from a young age.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the weather, and then the fact that it's English speaking. It's very similar in lots of ways because it's still a Western country. Very different in probably
Other
more
ways,
ways than it's similar, but there's enough similarities, and it was easy to see, at least for me, myself live here. So I think you came because I bought you one year for your birthday.
It was a bit of a treat, and then we were hooked. Since then, we started regularly coming to the US, whether it was Florida.
Yeah, once or twice a year.
New York, we done LA.
New Jersey.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
So we've done quite a few places. And then for me, I started working for a US company in 2012 or 2011 actually. It was my first work trip to Vegas actually, and then my second work trip was also to Vegas.
Well, actually, on the first work trip I refused. She was here for 6 weeks and I refused to come out because for me Vegas meant one thing: gambling, which I don't really do, drinking,
zero
which
interest.
I don't really do. So the one thing is partying, which I don't really do. So I had no interest, and she kept trying to convince me over the 6 weeks to come, and I just said no.
And then eventually you did. Over Christmas, it was my first time. I came on my own and I stayed at the Mirage, was the first casino hotel I've ever stayed in. And then I came back and I kept trying to encourage Ant to come here as a holiday, and I kept trying to say, you will enjoy it. And he's like, no, I'm not interested. There's nothing about it. It's faked, man-made, all this stuff. And then eventually I managed to encourage him. And then what happened?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it mostly for the opposite reasons to why most people come here. Did very little gambling, did a lot more outside. Really, it was Red Rock, visiting the canyons, visiting the, what did we do, kayaking?
There's so much to do here. You can literally fill your holiday here with so many different things away from the Strip. The Strip in itself is...
You'll see, we'll put it on the video.
It's spectacular.
It's spectacular. There's nothing like it in the world.
Yeah.
It's just the visuals of it, and then actually walking through the casinos. And the casinos aren't just casinos, they're high-end restaurants, they're nightclubs.
And they take the theming really seriously. When you go through the Venetian, you kind of feel like you're in Italy with the gondolas, and then the Paris, and then New York. It's very cleverly done, I would say. I know a lot of people think, oh, it's, you know, this man-made kind of fabricated place, but then you have to come to experience it. That's all I have to say.
So what are we doing today, sir?
We're just roaming the streets of Las Vegas now. We're walking up and down the Strip.
One of the things it's reminded me of, though, is you get absolutely bombarded within about 100 foot of exiting your car with sales. Come to the all-inclusive drinks,
party
rent
bus,
a car,
lots of
bus.
alcohol.
So if you've not been, it's something that you have to... The easiest way to deal with it is just don't engage.
Yeah.
Don't even look in their direction, and they just leave you alone. As soon as you engage, how many days are you here? Just 3, boom, they've got you.
I can see if you're out with your girls or your mates, it's definitely a good place to come and have some fun. What I'm finding really amusing is they have these places, and I don't know if we got it on camera, but where you can get these really long drinks, daiquiris, and then you just see so many people up and down the Strip just constantly making sure they keep a minimum saturation of alcohol through their body.
I guess most people come here to party.
Yeah.
Hi.
It is for party, and it's fine, and it's interesting because last time I was saying in downtown how I preferred downtown the last time we went, but now I'm feeling that I prefer here a little bit.
Do you?
I don't know. Yeah, I do. I think it was just what was overwhelming with Fremont was the homelessness, the drugs. Here, it's probably still here. I just can't see it.
Thanks.
So I'm preferring that it's more normal people.
It feels safer. It's a lot more policed.
Yeah.
A lot cleaner. The casinos are way better here. You've got a lot more to do in them, but there's a charm to Fremont.
Fremont has character, and it is really nice once you're in the casinos. I just didn't really feel that safe. I just didn't really like seeing it, the drugs and the homelessness, whereas here you don't see it like that.
You just see lots and lots of drunk people spending tons of money.
Instead.
It's completely different. It's all a drug.
But we're just literally walking down where Ant's is going to get hungry very soon.
I'm hungry already.
I have to think about when he's going to get hangry. So we'll have to think about where we're going to eat.
Normally we'd get tacos. It's got two of the best taco places I've ever had here.
In fact,
we're going in the wrong direction.
We are going in the wrong direction. In fact, I should point out that's the only reason we have come to the Strip. In 2 months, we've made about 4 trips, but it's very much at the top of the Strip, and we literally just come here to have the taco.
The last time we came, this entire area was under construction, I think.
Yeah, so this didn't exist. This is the Linq promenade on the Strip.
I'd say some of the landmarks here are the Gordon Ramsay fish and chips. And what else we got?
A huge Ferris wheel at the bottom of it. And it's one of the things about Vegas, every time I've come, there's constantly been development, something new. So it is somewhere you can come back and not have to repeat the same things. There's new places to go.
I'm looking for In-N-Out Burger if I can. There's a huge queue for Gordon Ramsay's.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure it's necessarily better than our local fish and chips at home though. That's pretty cool here.
Ah, so it backs up. I didn't know it came onto the Flamingo. Anyway, I'm hungry, so we're going to go find an In-N-Out. Just finished our In-N-Out, and Selena said a true thing. In-N-Out's probably one of the only burger places that's never In-N-Out. There's always a queue, and sometimes, especially the drive-through, it can be a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes to drive through.
And I was saying, obviously, I'm assuming when they first started, that was their whole thing many years ago.
Yeah.
Go in, get your burger, and out you go. But you're never in and out of In-N-Out.
But it's always good, it's always fresh, and it's really cheap. So we got a double, a cheeseburger and fries for like $11.
Oh yeah, super cheap. And a tip, if you've never had In-N-Out burger, definitely have it when you come to Vegas. You will only find it on the west coast of the US. And a tip, you can, and it's not on the menu, it's one of these like secret menu things where you can ask for your burger animal style and also your fries animal style. It generally means there's a different sort of sauce, they saute onions,
Always. It's very similar to Thousand Island. If you're from the UK, we have Thousand Island dressing. But I think it's got sauteed onions, maybe
extra
gherkins.
Sauce, it's really good.
Yeah. So we had that. It's really weird here, but keep forgetting that it's not lockdown. What is it? Social distancing. So what they're trying to do is appease the guidelines, but they prevent people from going into certain areas, which means it's a cattle pen where they're preventing you from going in. And then because you can't eat indoors, everybody's crowded around each other eating. So it's a self-defeating thing, really. It's pointless.
Yeah.
Because people have to be somewhere. If they're outdoors, if you're allowed out, you have to be somewhere.
And I have to say, this is probably the busiest. I mean, to be fair, we haven't been on the Strip since we came to Vegas, but we have driven past it, and it definitely seems busier. And it could just be that because we're in it, we're noticing it, but it definitely seems busier.
Yeah, and it's the middle of the day. It's really sunny.
Mother's Day weekend here in the US as well, so I'm sure lots of families out having fun, going for brunches. It's actually something I wanted to do today, go to a brunch. Apparently the Cosmopolitan has one at a restaurant called Wicked Spoon, so I intend to do that and we'll probably film it as well for you guys.
Yeah, but not now.
Not now, no. We're going to book for another time. You have to book it in advance.
So when we come here on holiday, normally we stay in a place. I don't know if you can see in the background, there's the Vdara. So if you can see the Cosmopolitan up there, next to it is the Vdara and the Aria. Something about Vegas is how many casinos and hotels? There's got to be well over 20.
Yeah,
they're owned by about 3
more.
groups. So although they've got different names, they're owned by MGM or whoever else. The way they differentiate them is the quality. So the Vdara is a suite only. It has no casinos, only suites, no rooms.
We personally really like that you're not having to walk through a casino to get to your hotel room. So we always like that. Other people like the immersive experience of feeling that they're in a casino hotel, in which case you'd pick somewhere like the Cosmopolitan or any of the others.
The Aria, which is maybe 50 paces opposite, and then you can have the casino and the hotel together.
Another thing we forgot to say about us coming to the US is that we actually got married in the US, in Florida.
Clearwater, Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon Springs.
home of Scientology, I think. We didn't know that at the time.
That's not the reason why we
No.
picked that area.
But,
yeah, we always kind of knew that we wouldn't want to get married in the UK. We wanted somewhere warm. We looked at a number of places. And then because we felt quite comfortable with the US and Florida, we picked Florida.
Yeah. And it was good. I'd do it again. And in fact, I was trying to rebook the same. We rented a house, a huge home that was on the lake with some lawn, and it had everything.
Yeah, it was a
but
huge
I think
estate,
the owners either sold it or they're not renting it out anymore. Coming off the street, we're now in the Bellagio. For people that haven't been into Vegas before, to Vegas before, it's really overwhelming in a lot of cases. Each hotel has what we would consider a large shopping centre.
Yeah. There's just lots going on in each one, like restaurants, bars, and then shops. So the Bellagio apparently have a very famous buffet. I mentioned about the buffets here in Vegas, but theirs isn't open. Caesars isn't open either, but they're all starting to open in the next few months.
Always a Starbucks, always a
Of
bar,
course.
always a restaurant.
Yeah, you cannot go far without. If you ever get hungry, want a drink, especially alcohol related, you'll find here.
And what's nice is they build these flyovers that you can walk over rather than having to wait
Across
across
the
the road.
street, yeah.
You'd be there for half an hour otherwise.
So I did wonder, so the Bellagio is obviously quite famous for the fountains outside the Bellagio. And I did wonder whether they're running, because they usually come on, I forget, they're on a timer, I think every 15 or 20 minutes, I can't remember. And usually what you find is people waiting for when, and then the crowds kind of flock at the time of the next one.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So somehow we timed that perfectly.
Very well.
We literally walk down the stairs and we won't even have to edit the time. As we walk down, the
Within a
music
minute,
dropped down.
yeah.
And then,
That was good.
and they run a different cycle every time.
Yeah, there's a different kind of fountain display every time. That was probably not the best one I've seen. At Christmas, it's really nice. They have Christmas music, and it's
And
a lot
at
more
night.
extravagant. And yeah, and at night it always looks much nicer. This was a bit more tame.
Yeah, it was a mild one. Maybe they're saving electricity.
It
And
could be, yeah.
so I
Not
wonder how
making
much it
enough
costs to run
money.
the pumps.
One thing that's really interesting about the US for us is
The sirens and the police.
the constant noise and
We don't
sirens.
get to hear it up where we live.
No, we don't actually. That's really true. It's very quiet where we are.
Yeah,
Like, it's the
definitely
polar
silent
opposite.
sometimes.
But one thing with the US, I love traveling, as you guys know. I would pretty much go anywhere. But
Some of the new subscribers probably won't, and they probably haven't gone and looked at your old videos.
yeah, so if you are interested in how I used to travel before the pandemic ruined it for me, have a look at my old videos where I share trips. I think I've got a trip to Morocco, Switzerland, Russia. There's lots of different places
China.
I've been to. China. Have a look. Actually, the Beijing trip was one of my favourites, which is consequently just before the pandemic hit. But I actually really like China, by the way, so I would still go there. But with the US, what was really interesting for us is that we had lots of friends that were never really interested in going to the US, and lots of people that are really kind of against the US in general.
And by some way they've ended up coming on a holiday or a trip and then completely falling in love. We haven't known one person that's hated it, arrived, holidayed for more than 5 days and then not falling in love and then keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's like this misconception of what the US is going. I actually don't know what it is. And everyone that's come has ended up really liking going back, doing road trips. It's something that I've really liked and we've always wanted to do more road trips in the US. And now we live here, we hopefully plan to, we should be able to do. Yeah, apart from the lockdown, we should be able to do that.
So you'll see these people doing the photos behind us. They lure you in, especially if you've got kids. They'll pull the kids in for a photo and then it's like $5 or $10.
You have to pay them.
Yeah, so be careful if you're not interested in paying.
I think we could charge for Anton's services.
Oh yeah, twice already today I've been stopped. People have
you might as well
spoken
go
to
and
me.
make us some money.
Well, if I ever need
pay
to.
for our food and drinks on our trip
yeah,
out.
if we don't get enough likes and subscriptions on YouTube, I'm going to have to go sell myself. I suppose one of the things that Americans do to the people in Europe, so you'll often hear, oh, where are you from? London? Yeah, I went to Naples.
Oh yeah, like that's very close.
The same country. So they just see Europe as Europe. I think a lot of people that dislike America don't realise it's a country of 300 plus million and every state is different. So, I mean, if you're saying you don't like America, you're telling me you don't like 300 million people in 50 states?
And it's, and how varied it can be across. So one of the things we were asked a lot when we first moved was, how's the situation with COVID? And I would be like, that's like asking you in the UK what it's like in France or Germany or Poland.
Or wherever.
It's so huge. Yeah. And I think that's what people think. It's just, the US is just one thing.
You carry a debit card on you, they want to make sure you have one up anyway.
And yours.
We're going to go into the Cosmopolitan.
We go to Cosmo. We have to put our masks on every time we go into a casino. And even some of the outdoor spaces, it's really strange.
Entrance only. Some of the casinos don't let you. So the Chandelier bar is always really nice. I'm sure it's not cheap, but it's a spectacular thing.
So we've been looking for a bar to stop off at. Ideally, I'd like outside, but Selena said the Chandelier bar is meant to be really nice, so we'll go and have a drink there at least.
I mean, if we're going to pay crazy prices, we might as well. And I think they have different levels depending on which level of the bar you're at. So this is the cheapest level, I think.
Oh, is that really how it works?
Yeah, someone was saying to me, I was reading online, they've got the different levels of the bar. And it's more exclusive the further up you go. So we've decided to come to the Cosmopolitan and we're at the Chandelier bar. Funny enough, we've been in here a few times for holiday and I think this is the first time we've actually had a drink at the Cosmopolitan. We tend to not really drink, but that's because we tend to not really drink when we come on holiday that much. We're not really drinkers, but we fancied a drink and I picked here and it's really nice. I've got a vodka-based drink. It wasn't what I was supposed to get. I was supposed to get gin. We messed up, but it was a good mess up. It was very good.
And what have I got?
You have a gin-based drink. I can't remember what it was called now. It's probably on the receipt.
I've got the Snap Judgment.
Snap Judgment. How is the Snap Judgment? Was it a snap judgment when you chose it?
It's good.
It's quite strong. Very strong in the alcohol taste. And I've got the finishing. So we're just seeing if we're going to walk towards the Vidaras, so the hotel that we usually stay at. But it's always very confusing here, trying to figure out how to get out. One thing I wanted to say now is, I think there's you'll know who you are. You're in Singapore and you're moving to Vegas. I believe you and your family next month, which is extremely exciting. So this message is for you, actually, because I was was being nosy on Instagram and looking at your wife's Instagram page after you posted up about watching our videos, which I really do appreciate, so thank you. And I'm really pleased that watching our videos is helping you both prepare for your move to Vegas. But then I was looking at how you live in Singapore, and it made me think, and I did say this to Ant, we like it here, but I also appreciate our baseline is very different. The way we was living in the UK, the weather, what we got out of it, I don't know how you feel about Singapore, but when I looked at your pictures, I look at that and I think, you appear to have a really nice lifestyle there, and I'm assuming the weather in Singapore is better than what we was getting in the UK. So I really do hope that you enjoy living in Vegas as much as we do, but I do appreciate, and I think that where we're coming from is completely different, that we really do not like the weather in the UK, how things are, our lifestyle didn't suit us. But yeah, just hoping that you enjoy it as much as us.
I'll just add that I think that if you just enjoy life anyway, Vegas is not going to detract from that. The only thing that Vegas will detract from is if you're really used to a metropolitan style life, so city lifestyle, if you were to live in London, or I would imagine within the city of Singapore, whatever that is, it's very different here, particularly where we live. It's kind of not out in the sticks, but it's very rural, peaceful. It's in the foothills of the mountains. There's not much going on in our actual area at all.
No.
But jump in a car, it took us 20 minutes or less this morning.
And then you're in the hustle and bustle. So there's a really nice blend of being kind of in that family, quiet, peacefulness.
But it won't give you that New York, London feel that just doesn't exist here. And it doesn't give you, even here it's really nice, but it doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't feel natural. It feels like you come here for a holiday, you spend some hours and then you leave.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it feels like. You wouldn't want to be here every day. It's too much hassle, people trying to sell you stuff. So it's not really to put you off. We obviously absolutely love it, but it might be a different...
100% not to put you off. And I would also add, I think different people like different things wherever they go. We know people that hate the sun, absolutely hate it, and therefore England is great for them. In fact, they're the ones that complain when England is warm. For us, this suits us in it, but this Vegas was a huge surprise, and I think a lot of you watching this see how much, happy we seem to be here, and that is true for us. But then for anyone that's looking to move to the US, what you want might be slightly different. Maybe somewhere like Boston with different seasons, maybe more suitable. California, more temperate if you're up in the north of California in terms of the weather.
Yeah.
But you get it all here, so I'm fairly confident you can find a state that suits your weather needs.
You've just come into the Aria. The Aria is the huge sister of the Vidara, the one that we stay in. So in here you have, do you have a nightclub? I can't remember. Lots of shops, lots of food, some really high-end watch stores as well. Really high-end clothes stores like Bulgari, Rolex. I think it's got an AP store in here. I can't remember, but I remember there were watches well over 40 grand when we had a look. And so it's a little bit more high-end, so well out of our price range.
What?
Yeah. I would show you this. So anybody that does like the finance stuff and is watching my finance videos, this is exactly how you don't do finance. I mean, unless you're a multi-millionaire, there is no business you have in Louis Vuitton. But look at the queue. It's queuing from over there. Yeah. All the way around. Now you're going to spend, it's probably made in Vietnam or any of the other big, most of the clothes are done there, probably made for about £2, and then people will be paying £200-300.
Yeah, genuinely queuing for that, yeah. There you go.
So Selena's surprised that people are queuing up for this, but I don't find it surprising at all. When we went to the outlets, most people were queuing for the really expensive stores.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where they were queuing. Nobody's queuing for the cheap stuff, but anyway, silly. Perfect. Anyway, we're not being preachy, it's quite funny. I would imagine.
I'm not.
Huh?
I'm not.
No.
If you want to go to Louis, go to Louis.
Exactly, you can spend your money however. Although we've been told a few times, people have joked about everybody here spending, the reason you've got those queues, they're spending their, what's the check they get? The stimulus check on all the expensive stuff.
Yeah, all the stimulus checks being spent on the strip apparently. We did not qualify for one.
I'm absolutely positive, especially here, there are plenty of people that can more than afford it. There are multi-millionaires that are here, but there is a disproportionate number of people queuing for expensive shops rather than cheap ones.
Yeah, that's true.
We just recorded a whole section, but there's music playing in the background pretty much everywhere you go on the Las Vegas Strip, and it's really easy to get a YouTube strike, so we've ended up having to re-record it. So here we are again.
Saying the same thing. But we spent this video really trying to allow you to get to know us a little bit better, and give some background as to why we feel the way we do about the US, and just add a little bit more colour and knowing that we also got married here, which you might find interesting. But in terms of this week, in our weekly update, I would say personally for me it's been less dramatic. There's been less things to do, which is a great sign because it means that we're really settling in, and a lot of those first few months there's so much to do with sorting a house, the car, insurance, utilities.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we finally kind of got through that. However,
although we did find out this week that the utilities that we'd been promised to sort out hadn't been.
No.
So the gas, we only found out because the landlord had contacted the agent to say he must have been receiving bills. Now I'd spent at least an hour specifically with the gas people sending over various documents, being refused, sending further documents, phoning them up. They said, right, we've got everything we need now, we're going to go out, we'll get the meter reading and your service will be started. I noticed a couple of weeks in that we hadn't received the bill, so I emailed them.
You did question it.
Yeah, I questioned it, but I assumed everything was okay because they hadn't told us that it wasn't okay. The first time they said they couldn't connect it, so we'd sorted everything out. Obviously not. So that took a little bit of work to sort out, and we ended up trying to call them, but there was 131-minute queues on the line.
And I think they were having service issues,
IT systems.
Yeah.
So in the end, I just redid another service request, so they come out and started the service again. But that's now meant that we had to contact the landlord or his agent and say, look, whatever the bill is at the point we moved in up until the point they started the service, we'll pay you. So it's not a major, it's just a little bit frustrating, and it seems really common, at least to Las Vegas, to have really inept people and really poor services. I can't say we've ever experienced this anywhere else, it's just
although something that Ant pointed out this week, for NV Energy, their website has this real
amazing
modern dashboard where it can predict your energy.
Both of us in our roles actually have to deal with dashboards and setting dashboards up for clients and customers and working out how best to present that. And actually, NV Energy have done an amazing job. So their actual website and dashboards are really good, but their competency when you're speaking to them is nil.
So it was a bit of a surprise, and kind of like this weird mix and blend that you get here in the US in a way.
And the other issue, which somebody's already commented on, and actually we're going to look into some of the bank accounts that they've mentioned, is Bank of America, utterly useless. So they've blocked my card. I think I'm underestimating, probably 8 to 10 times. It might be far more than that. This time, so unlike the first time where it was blocking me for water and groceries, the basics, the essentials, it's now blocking me for crypto, which I can understand. However, I phoned them up, I explained the situation, they unblock the card, go off the phone, I try and log on, make the payment, it fails. This has happened 10 times. I've ended up spending 3 or 4 hours maybe.
A long time.
On the phone to them.
A couple of days now.
Yeah, just so I can use my card, and every time they're full of whatever, and then, oh no, it's because it's a new account. Okay, when is it not a new account? Do I just need to wait 3 months? Oh, we understand your concern.
They don't.
That's not an answer to my question.
You're not following their script. That's causing an issue for them.
So it's been really, really frustrating. My card's getting blocked whether I'm buying groceries or whether I'm buying crypto. So we're going to now have a look into a new account.
I think Shauna, you'd recommended Schwab Bank,
so we'll
look into that. We would have liked Chime, but I think you tried Chime.
Tried Chime, they rejected. I tried Discover It again for a credit card, they also rejected.
So we will try it, please do recommend
and
any
just
banks.
to point out, what's really interesting is the first 2 times I was rejected for a crypto payment through Bank of America, I ended up using our UK account, so we've still got money in those. Went through, but they then blocked it after that fact. And First Direct called me up, 5-minute conversation, explained to them, they fully understood immediately, unblocked the card and let me know I won't have those issues again. It was 5 minutes worth of work.
And First Direct is our UK bank account that we still have at the moment. So for the US people that don't know who First Direct are, it's a UK bank account that works really well.
Oh, they're amazing. Trying to talk to Bank of America, honestly, is like talking to one of the panes of glass. That's how much use you get out of them. It's just so frustrating. I'm hoping not all US banks are like that. So that's the frustration.
That's it. He's offloaded. I feel this is
It's
really
therapy.
good for him. It's therapy. He likes to offload to you guys. And I quite like it because then I'm not just getting it myself. I'm sharing.
Although
with
you
the
hear
world.
it anyway at the time.
No, I know.
Because there's been times we've arranged to either go out for lunch or I'm meant to be doing a workout and I'm on the phone to Bank of America, just wasting time.
Pretty much my working morning, he's on the phone trying to sort out banking issues.
Just to give me my money, I just don't understand it. Anyway.
Driving is the next thing on our agenda. So we've booked our knowledge test. So to get your driving license, you first have to go for a sight and knowledge test. And when you pass that, then you can go for the skills test. So we're both booked, I think, I'm booked on the 18th and you're on the 19th of May. So next weekend we have to spend our weekend at least learning, because the signs here are, although we have both driven a lot in the US, so we're used to it, but obviously we don't know all the signs.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some different things. It'd be fine.
It's
we'll
probably
just
going, and judging by the driving standards, nobody pays any attention to them anyway, so it'll be a case of spending an hour looking at
just
whatever
making sure
it
we
is.
can pass the test, basically.
Yeah, and that's it. And then we've got to wait another couple of months to book in the
Yeah, so
practical.
I don't know how long it will take for us to get our driver's license, the real ID. I'm guessing a few months, like you.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's a nice short update this week, and then tomorrow what are we doing? We're filming a healthcare, because it comes up a
Well,
lot.
my plan for this weekend is 2 videos actually, to film a video on healthcare, just to it's really confusing. And I was writing my notes yesterday and I was saying to Ant just how still confusing it is. All these words, deductibles, out of pocket, allowance, co-insurance, co-pays, and just the combination of how they're used in your medical plan. So I'm planning to do a video this weekend. I'm not an expert, bearing in mind I'm giving you my perspective from what I understand, so we'll see how that goes. And also one on shipping, because I know a lot of you are close to that point where you should be shipping your things over to the US now.
Good luck, our stuff still hasn't arrived.
So I'm going to do a dedicated video on that again.
And for those people that do care, in terms of our crypto investment, we've only invested a small amount into crypto itself, and the rest has actually gone into USDT, which is Tether, and that's a stable coin. And we've just learned that in actual fact, if you lend that out, you can make about 30 to 50% return per year. So a lot of our cash fund is going to be going into that over the next couple of months. So anybody that is interested, make sure you stay tuned for the finance videos that currently are coming out about 1 per week, and then you can learn what we're actually doing with that. So we've finished up our day walking around Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, and we've just done about 13,500 steps
So
today.
Selena likes to know her stats of working out. I'm a person that just goes in, throws stuff around, works out until it feels right, and then moves on. Selena likes to know the numbers, the steps.
Yeah, I'm always curious with my step count, definitely, just because I think that's just something good generally to keep up and not feel that you're keeping still.
And it's really easy
Especially
to get
if
your
you
exercise in here.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very easy. I really enjoyed today, actually. I was just thinking to myself as we were walking back to the car, just how much of a blend you get with Vegas, that you really have it all. If you want to be calm, quiet, go to something natural like the mountains, go for a walk, bike, hike, you've got that. But then if you want the complete polar opposite and you want to be in
Party town,
get drunk, have drugs, it literally has everything to suit any mood that you're possibly in.
Yeah,
Actually,
all
I
your
love that.
vices are here.
Yeah, literally, I think. I think we saw them all as we walked along.
Yeah,
the
there's
street.
not as much homeless, but there's definitely a few people there.
Or you don't notice it as much here on the strip. But yeah, it was a nice day to get out. It was quite warm, but not too bad yet. So that it
Yeah,
hasn't
it's fine.
hit the peak of its heat.
Not even close. It's
no,
28
it's
and it gets up to 48. So we're a long way off. It's practically double.
But this is about the right temperature, so I am wondering what it's going to be like once it gets up to the 40 degrees kind of mark, 45.
It'll be fine.
But yeah, I hope you found that interesting today. It was a bit different in that we had less to say. Usually there's drama each week, and this week there was less drama other than Anton's drama. But we're still intending to do the weekly updates each week. Hopefully we intend to pick somewhere slightly different every week as well and see if we can. The subscriptions have been great. If you're watching, please do subscribe. I think there's more of you now that are watching, and I think because we're getting more viewers, I think more of you are not subscribing. So
its percentage is way out again. So 65-35 across the last, I can't remember, last week. So there's a lot more people watching, but those people have not got the message to subscribe, so please subscribe.
Yeah, and just keep commenting. We always say this at the end of most of the videos now, but we genuinely do mean it. We really do appreciate the messages. We both take time now to respond, and we're interested in learning a lot about you guys as well that are following us. So really do
And we've
appreciate
learned
it.
about the banking and what else did we get to? Oh, buying paper cups and plates.
So yeah, actually, I thought that was the most. I felt
It's
really
the
stupid.
most simple
actually.
solution to a problem.
Yeah.
And I guess we're just thinking about too many things, but that was actually helpful because we're going to go and do that.
Just buy paper cups and plates until our plates come. Thank you.
Can't
for
buy
that.
a paper mountain bike or paper
No.
sofa, but
that was very good. And
we do appreciate it.
And we loved how that guy stole my thunder with the age thing. I felt so good. I had to message him back and say, but no, we do appreciate the comments. Yeah, just keep viewing, keep letting us know what you're finding interesting and what other videos you want us to do, like the medical one I'm planning to do tomorrow and the shipping. It's all based on your feedback. Great. Well, thanks.
Is that it?
Yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.